Next week marks day one of a week-long effort to get people who can drive or afford a car to experience what life is like without personal transportation. The effort is called A Week Without Driving, and we learn more from Ed Hermes. He's chairman of the Vision Zero Street Safety Committee, which is behind the product. Ed, good to see you again.
Thanks, Ted. Appreciate it.
How'd you get here? Your bike over here?
I did bike over here. Yes, I did.
So you live your life without driving half the time.
I do live my life without driving. I want to see what it's like on the streets so I can try to make the city better.
All right, so week without driving. Give us a better explanation of what's going on here, why it's going on.
Well, about a third of people in this country do not have access to a car. Maybe they're older, younger, disabled, can't afford gas, can't afford a car, and they rely on public transit, walking, biking throughout the United States. And this is an effort, it's a national effort. And here in Arizona, we're taking part in that to try to get people who do have access to a car, who have that privilege, to eschew the car for a week, see what it's like to walk almost literally in their shoes, to see where the barriers are of how we can make our community a little safer, a little bit more connected to the benefit of those who can't afford a car.
September 29th to October 5th, was that week chosen in particular, or is that the national week?
That's the national week. It started in Washington by the Disability Rights Center, and it has grown from America Walks as an organization that launches it nationally. You can check out more at americawalks.org, and that's the national week that we're partaking in here in Arizona.
So people with disabilities, young drivers, seniors, those who can't afford or just simply don't want to drive cars, we're all supposed to kind of remember that they're out there, huh?
They're out there. We have 40,000 families here in Phoenix that do not have access to a vehicle. And they have there's unique challenges, as you can imagine, in this city. And we need to make it safer, make it easier, frankly, for everybody to get around, whether you can afford a car, whether you have access to a car or not.
What are the challenges? What are the barriers?
Safety is a big one. We know here in the city of Phoenix, we have the #1 amount of car crashes, #1 amount of deadly car crashes of any major city in the United States. We have about 300 a year. Even more, many more than that, people getting seriously injured. Safety is a big one. Access to quality and reliable public transit is another one. But we want people to get out next week during A Week Without Driving, document their own challenges that you have. So if you're trying to get down here to work, you know, how was it? What was it like? What have you seen that you could make it a little easier to get to where you need to go?
I was going to ask you, how does this work? Do you keep a diary? You mentioned document. Is there a place to go to fill things out?
Yeah, you can share your story at americawalks.org. And the local group here is called Phoenix Urban Project. You can go to their website as well. Share your stories, share them on social media. There's a place on the website to do that. And also to take that next step to advocate to your state, federal, and local public officials to say, hey, you know, I was trying to take the bus to work. It wasn't working very well, or I wanted to come more often, or the sidewalk ended in my neighborhood. Why is that? Start asking those questions and start advocating for those changes to make it easier.
And this is all transportation, 24/7. I mean, what about late at night? I get a little nervous getting on public transportation late at night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so the light rail used to run till 2 a.m. It doesn't anymore. And so if you work late, that's another issue. It's another difficulty. We know for people who are going to have challenges doing this, right? So if there's just a moment during the week where you just can't get to where you need to go without calling an Uber or getting in your car, document that as well to say, look, it was midnight, I needed to get somewhere, nothing was running. Document that as well and share those stories.
You mentioned calling an Uber. What about paying for rides? What about asking for someone to drive you somewhere? Does that count as not driving?
Yeah, asking for somebody to give you a ride, that does count. That's a piece of this. As long as you're changing your behavior to walk in the shoes of somebody who can't afford or doesn't have access to a car, that works. So talking to a neighbor, carpooling, that absolutely works. And again, if you just can't get to somewhere, don't consider yourself a failure. Document that and let's try to fix it.
The goal is to reflect on what these other folks are dealing with.
Exactly. Reflect, experience it, reflect. If it's hot, if it's uncomfortable, reflect on that and how can we make it better? Is it more shade at the bus stop? Is it buses running more quickly? Reflect on that and bring those stories to people in power who can change those.
How long has this been going on?
This has been going on since 2021, started in the state of Washington with the Disability Rights Center, and it's continuing, it's growing every year. This is going to be our biggest year doing it in Arizona, and we want to continue to grow it every year.
And last question, I wanted to ask you about that. What has the response been so far in previous years?
You know, it's been small. It started as a little kernel here in Phoenix. Nationwide, it's grown a lot more quickly. Here in Arizona, last year we did it. It was very small, to be honest. This year we're trying to get it much bigger and to grow it every single year so we can try to make those changes in our community.
Where to learn more?
Learn more at urbanphoenixproject.org as well as americawalks.org. You can sign up, get some resources, learn more about it, and also share your stories and document those stories.
Ed Hermes again, Vision Zero Street Safety Commission on Week Without Driving. Oh boy.
I hope you join us, Ted, next week.
Okay, you watch out for me now.
I will do.
Good to see you.
Thanks, Ted. Appreciate it.